ASEAN, the show that's gonna provide you all kind of interesting art topics, including painting, movies, plays, and music. Today, let's begin with an art exhibition from various artists, both Thai and international. Especially, we will focus on Han Nevsky's art. He is a European artist who fell in love with Europe art, and he's transferring the idea and acknowledgement of HIV patients and how to live normally with them. Let's see. While evolutionary in medical area grow day by day to find the best way out from HIV, but the real problem is not about technology, but the negative perspective of the society toward HIV patients, or even continuously obstruct the patient from being a part of the society with various methods. So creating and forming new thoughts, new activities to make a right perspective of us for the patients. The point is to acknowledge and change an attitude, more important to understand about the patient and HIV itself through activities.
This is a nightmare.
ArtAIDS Foundation and Bangkok Art and Culture Center together present You Are Not Alone, the contemporary art exhibition to promote knowledge and understanding on HIV through the works of 16 Thai and international contemporary artists.
This exhibition began 4 years ago. Together with the curator Hilde Teerlink, we thought we could make an exhibition with international artists from many countries in the world about the theme of HIV. ArtAIDS is a foundation that fights the stigma of HIV with art. There's a stigma. People are still ashamed about HIV. They don't want to say openly that they have HIV. And we want to change that. I have HIV. I'm not ashamed. I talk about it. And I think that art, because I'm an art collector, is a very good way to show things, because art reflects the world around us. And that's why art can be used as a way to reflect the world of HIV as well. So we wanted to make a special exhibition with artists from abroad that we would ask to make a work of art inspired by HIV. And that's how the exhibition became reality. ArtAIDS is very important for Thailand because, first of all, we love Thailand, we like Thai people, we like Thai food, we like to be here. But also because ArtAIDS was born in Thailand. In 2004, during the International Conference on AIDS, I produced an exhibition of Thai artists around the theme of HIV at the Queen's Gallery here in Bangkok. And for the first time I saw the power of art. I saw that people who looked at the paintings, who looked at the photos, at the installations, started talking about the issue, started talking about HIV, something they never talk about. So you could break the stigma through art. People start to talk. Now, if you ask me which of the works I like most, I cannot answer. Because it's like asking a father, who of his children does he like most? He cannot say. Everything. They all have their beautiful parts.
Various contemporary arts from distinctive artists are the medium to help changing misconception and resisting attitude. The art from artists around the world, including Thailand, are the beginning of a conversation where such subject can be openly discussed. The artwork of internationally acclaimed artists from South Africa, Cyprus, Chile, Lithuania, Spain, Vietnam, Denmark, Norway, Netherlands, Morocco, and new artists from Thai artists are the essence of the exhibition to introduce many accounts of AIDS, its impact and social aspect, as well as current situation of HIV-infected people both locally and abroad.
There are exhibitions of works made by people who have HIV, but that's very different, because this is an exhibition by internationally acclaimed important artists who do not have HIV. They're artists, and they think about HIV and they try to find a form to make a work of art. It's very different from somebody who is a dentist or somebody who's a bus driver and he paints and he has HIV and he makes a painting. It's not a professional artist. That's the difference.
In You Are Not Alone, 16 contemporary artists from around the world will give their individual visions on the causes, consequences, and current context of AIDS, as well as ways of fighting it. The pieces present offer a vision of AIDS from the perspective of different countries on different countries that all experience illness in one form or another.
But there's one series that I find particularly interesting, and that's this series of the artist David Goldblatt, a photographer from South Africa. He's not young anymore, he's around 80 years old, and he did a lot of work during the apartheid in South Africa, when blacks did not have the same rights as white. And at that time he made photos only in black and white. And it was after that finished, when Mandela became president of South Africa, that he started to take photos in color. The apartheid is gone, but South Africa has a big problem, and that's HIV/AIDS. Many people are infected in South Africa, and you can see it everywhere. You can see it in big cities, in small cities, but also in the countryside. And David Goldblatt wanted to show that through the series of photos he made. And in each photo you can see the red ribbon somewhere hidden in the photo. Like here, for example. You see the red ribbon. This is just a street, a regular street, somewhere in a small town in South Africa, and there's an AIDS ribbon. Same here. And the same with all the other photos. He shows that HIV is everywhere in South Africa. The interesting thing of this exhibition is that because the artists are from so many different countries, they have their very own way of expressing their form of seeing HIV. We have an artist from Morocco, for example, who made a work inspired by the scandal in France in 1980 when HIV blood was infected and given to other people. That's how many people got infected. And she combined this with a trip she made to her homeland, to Morocco, where she went into a house made of bricks, where women go to talk about their problems, about their husbands, about whatever problems they have. And she combined it. She made the bricks on the floor of the women, and then the red dust of the hands on the walls of the museum here. And each hand is a story of a woman. Each hand is a particular story. And so each artist has their own cultural way of expressing their view of HIV.
Life seems to be way easier if we try to understand each other. At the end of the day, HIV patients are part of our society as well, and we should open our eyes and live together without any barrier of differentiation.
Would encourage young people to come to the Bangkok Art Center and to look at the exhibition. Contemporary art is not always easy because it's not so clear what you see. But when you open your heart and you open your mind and look at it for what it is, then you will understand it. Have an open mind and an open heart. Then you can see contemporary art. And there's another thing I want to say. Among young people here in Thailand and in the rest of the world, the incidence of HIV is getting higher and higher. A lot of young people do not use condoms, they do not protect themselves. So I want them to think about that for a moment. When they see these works here, I hope they realize that HIV still exists, even though you don't see it in this society. It still exists, and you have to be careful.
Even medical technologies has been developing a lot these days. Even cancer, we can fix it with chemo. But HIV is kind of disease that you have to deal with it all of your life. So it's not easy to deal with at all. So the people in the society have to help each other and encourage each other to deal with this easier. Next break, we are showing new kind of art, not painting, movies, play, or either music. But we're going to show edible art from Spain. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be delicious. Stay tuned.